Hey everyone, this is Alan from EV News, and today's video is going to be very different. It's not about investing, it's about me applying for a job with KANDI or with KANDI. So KANDI is an electric vehicle company. They're actually a Chinese-based company, and you can actually invest in them. Their ticker symbol is KNDI, and I'm not sure if you guys knew this or if you guys were around at this time, but KANDI did have a big pop. It was at $4, and then they announced news that they were going to be making sales in the United States, specifically starting in Texas, and their headquarters is in Dallas. And as soon as they made that news, it did jump from $4 a share to about like $17, $18 per share. So, like I said, they did announce that they're going to be making sales in the United States, and their headquarters is here in Dallas. So I currently live in Dallas, and all of the other EV companies, they're all in California along the West Coast, so there's not many options for me to work in the EV industry. I'm currently working in the solar industry, helping make sales for solar, and I'm doing a fantastic job, and I've hit all my numbers, all my goals, all my bonuses. I enjoy it. I did major in international sustainable development, so I have that passion in all things sustainability, renewables, and of course electric vehicles. So today's video is not about investing, it's about me applying for the job. So let's take a look at KANDI and let's see what job openings they have for me. Let's get into it. Before I apply for a job, I'd like to take this time to introduce myself a little bit. So as I mentioned, my name is Alan. I'm editor-in-chief of EV News, and my background and my story is quite unique and is quite different. So I was born here in the United States to two teachers, educators, and they ultimately became Department of Defense employees, and we were able to move and live, and my parents were able to teach on military bases. So wherever there was a US military base, I was able to live. So I grew up as a civilian, not as a military personnel, but I did have this international experience. So I was born in Dallas, Texas, and 4 months later, we moved to Germany, and then we went to Japan, and then we moved back to Germany, and then ultimately finished up my middle school and high school years in Spain, where my parents actually put us into Spanish schooling system, me, my brother, and my sister, for 2 years. And while we were there, of course, we learned Spanish, and today I speak fluent Spanish. It's honestly like the greatest thing that my parents have ever done for us. It shows this international lifestyle as well as putting us into Spanish schooling system. I remember going to Spanish schooling system, and my Spanish at the time was like okay because my mom would communicate with us, but of course it wasn't native or fluent level. And I ended up learning Spanish, and it has benefited me greatly and immensely. If you can learn any other language, it's one of the greatest skills that you can learn, and one of the greatest things you can do for yourself, personal career, personal goals, everything. Anyways, and then after I studied in Spain, I actually got a soccer scholarship to come here to the United States. So I played soccer for 1 year. It didn't pan out like I thought it would, so I eventually just focused on studying, and I graduated with a degree in international sustainable development. So anything that's sustainability, anything that's renewables, electric vehicles, these are my passions. It's what I have become really like obsessed with and what I'm really big into. Of course, I'm very big into financials as well because I'm heavily invested into a lot of the electric vehicles, and I'm heavily invested in all these things as well. So anyways, after I graduated university, what I ended up doing was I went to China, and the reason I did is because international sustainable development, China is a big player with their electrification of their public transportation and of their electric vehicles. So I went there and I ended up working for 3 years in China to learn the language, of course, ultimately. And today I have a very like an intermediate advanced level Mandarin. It's of course not fluent because Mandarin Chinese is extremely difficult. To get to that level, I would have had to have gone to school to study or probably spent another 2 years, 3 years in China, which I wasn't ready to dedicate. I said 3 years and I spent 3 years, and that was good. And in China, it's quite unique. It's quite different that actually the license plates on the cars are all blue, except for the electric vehicles, they're green. So they're already starting to distinguish which cars are electric and which cars are not. And I really, really like that. I think that's so unique and it's so cool. So then I spent, 3 years in China, and I came back to the United States, and I've been doing solar, and I work as a sales consultant or a solar consultant or an energy specialist, however you want to look at it, for solar, and I'm doing extremely well in the solar industry, but I'm due for a nice pivot, and I'd like to pivot into something that I'm even more passionate about than renewable energy, and that's in electric vehicles. So I live in Dallas. That's the only electric vehicle company right now in Dallas is KANDI. There is talks, like I said, of Canoe coming to Dallas, but as of right now, this is my only choice. So let's take a look at it. So KANDI has 2 models. They have 2 models here for sale in the United States. And they actually have an SUV that I really like. It looks really, really nice. But the first model that they have is the K23. It looks like a good family car. It's quite large for the size of it as as a small family or a family car. And what's quite intriguing and most appealing about this vehicle is that after the federal tax credit, it is just under like $1 under $20,000. So we'll just say $20,000 for this vehicle. I do like it in blue. I think it looks really nice in this blue color. And then of course they have in different colors available, but really what I want to talk about is like its top speed is 72 miles an hour. It has a range of 113 per charge, and then it takes about 7.5 hours to charge. It does run on a lithium ion battery, of course. So that's a little bit about the first model that they have, is that model K23. And then the next model that I like and that they have is the K27. So it's much more compact, much more smaller. And then the most crazy thing about this is that after the federal tax credit, you're looking at as low as $9,999 or $10,000 for an electric vehicle. And I do kind of like it in red. I think it looks good in red. It is very compact. It is a 4-door nonetheless. They do come in blue, which I think is really nice too. And the black looks really good as well. And then this car goes 68 miles per hour, and it has a range of 59 miles, which is not that long, but for city commuting and just like day-to-day life, like going shopping, technically a lot of people are working from home, so this can be a really great, cheap, affordable, and an electric option here in Dallas and in Texas, all across the United States basically. So that's a little bit about them. They have a store that you can buy like a t-shirt from, women's t-shirt. They have masks there as well. And then the video, I kind of like it. I think it's pretty cute. Let's take a look at it.
Arriving now in a blue candy.
She's like, what's a candy?
What's a candy? This is nice. And it's so quiet.
Thanks. It's a candy.
Sweet.
Introducing the all-electric KANDI K23.
And this is filmed in Dallas, so I recognize a lot of these streets, actually.
KANDI, auto evolution for all.
And then they do have a commercial as well for the K27. The beginning is just like a little intro with the logo. But then, yeah, it does actually have the candy itself. And I recognize where this is, so... So yeah, that's a little bit about the company, of course, about us and in contact. So I've already sent like 6 emails to KANDI when I first found out that they were moving here, or they were going to make sales here in the United States, and I found out that their headquarters was here in Dallas, Texas. I already sent like 6 emails with my resume in English, Spanish, and Chinese, and I haven't heard anything back. So I'm hoping now that they actually have job posting and career postings available, I'm really hoping that I can hear something back from them. And I think one of the jobs that I'm eligible for is the sales assistant and maybe director sales manager of electric vehicles. So today I'm just going to start off with sales assistant. And yeah, so of course, yeah, sales assistant in Dallas, in this area of Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to apply for it. I'm going to go ahead and put all this information in. And then now that I filled out my basic information, it does ask me to upload my resume, which I have, like I said, in both English, Spanish, and Chinese. Date available, we're just going to put I'll just go a week out. Desired pay is something I can talk to them about. It's not a required, it's an optional thing. I don't ever recommend doing that. That's something that I feel is done face-to-face, especially with a Chinese company. It's more about the connection that you make with people rather than just throwing out numbers. So then I'm going to go ahead and put my website here in EV News, and then I'm going to go ahead and link my LinkedIn there, and then I'm just going to click submit. So you guys wish me luck. I do want to pivot from the solar industry into the EV industry, and hopefully this is the first step. So wish me guys luck. Send me all those good vibes. Here we go. Ready? Thank you. Your application has been submitted successfully. So hopefully I hear from them sometime soon. You guys will keep in touch. See you guys in the next video.